All right, good afternoon, guys. What's good? Welcome to the Doc Bulozi podcast. We're recording live from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, country in Southern Africa. I'm Doc Bulozi. My real name is Blessing Jodzi. Currently, I am at a hospital called Mpilo. I'm on orientation, meaning I landed outside of the country, and now I'm back. So I'm taught how things work in Zimbabwe. So I have to be at the hospital for like 6 months, not paid, exam soon. So wish me luck. So this is the first episode of the Doc Bulozi podcast. Joining me today is Dr. Majok. I worked with her, I think, the first 2 weeks I was here. She's quite nice. I like her work ethic, and she treated me for traveler's diarrhea. So yeah, I'll let her introduce herself now.
Hi guys, how are you all? So I'm Dr. Majok. I am training to be a specialist physician. I finished my undergrad training in 2018. So I've been working for the past 5 years now. So yeah, I'm stationed at Mpilo Hospital at the moment. So yeah.
All right, so for my Zimbabwean viewers, your surname is Majok. It's not a typical Zimbabwean surname.
Yeah, it's not.
So where are you from?
So I'm originally from South Sudan. Both my parents are South Sudanese. However, I grew up in Zimbabwe. So I'm as good as Zimbabwean, basically. I can speak Shona. I can speak a lot of Ndebele. Yeah, a bit. Okay, fine. Let's be honest, a bit. But
Okay.
yeah.
And where did you do your schooling for medical school?
Okay, so I did my undergrad training at NAST. So for those who are familiar, NAST didn't have a medical school previously. It only started in 2012. So there was a class that did train at NAST some years back. They then didn't manage to complete their training and they went all over the place. Others went to the University of Zimbabwe, others left the country and went to finish off their training in Zambia, Malawi, and the like. So the first class to actually complete medical training at NAST is, well, us. So basically I was in the pioneer class at NAST. So I started in 2012. Yeah, the medical school has been running very smoothly since then.
Okay, and what did you take from medical school? Would you say it was nice being there?
It was. It was an interesting experience. Unfortunately, you don't get to experience college life as you see it on TV or in movies or whatever. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with it. But it was definitely, I think it was character building. You learn to be hardworking. You learn to push yourself because nobody's going to force you to read. No one's going to force you to go into the wards and talk to patients. It's more or less similar to adult education. It's not the typical undergrad where, people are pushing you and telling you what to do or where you're supposed to be next. So, yeah.
All right, so you could bunk classes and get away with it.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because you had to have at least 80% attendance at the
Okay.
end of each semester. So you could get away with bunking like 20% of your classes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because we were a very small class. We're 25 in our class. So it was a very personal relationship with each one of your lecturers. So everyone knew you. So if you're not there for class at any point in time, then it's obvious that so-and-so is missing from class. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you were impressionable, then you definitely stand out more. So,
Oh, so you're trying to say you were one of the impressionable
hey,
ones?
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not trying to
All
blow
right.
my own horn here, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I can agree to that. Yeah, because I saw the way you worked and so on. So I believe there's truth to that. So one of the other questions I have is the issue of gender. Well, in the West, it's more mixed cultures from various places across the world, and the rights thing. It's a growing movement there, but here it's still a bit more traditional,
Yeah.
and so on. And I once browsed through some articles about male and female doctors, and yes, I want to ask, what is it like being a lady in the medical field? And you say you're impressionable too, so I guess there's going to be a lot of clashing too with the guys, the class at work.
Yeah, well, so in class, not very much. During undergrad training, not very much. I think a lot of the guys, and I'm sorry if you're watching this, But a lot of the guys I learned with, they were not very proactive, so to speak. So
Okay.
they were just okay with taking the back seat, Like, I think our class had ladies in the forefront mostly, doing most of the stuff, volunteering to do the difficult stuff and the like. However, it's a bit different now, as I'm working, because it's really a male dominated profession, especially here in Zimbabwe. There are very few ladies in the medical field, and there are even fewer who are specializing. So it's a very hard thing trying to, establish your footing in such a place, because you do find that some people, some more traditional doctors, do try to sort of silence you when you want to speak out. Yeah, there's sometimes when you realize that you're trying to give your opinion on something and they talk over you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a difficult thing to do, but I think consistency.
All right. And are you doing anything like paving a way for the younger female doctors you come across who you can sort of help, since you're sort of a senior in the medical?
Well, not entirely. Not
Okay.
entirely, yeah. I do encourage them though to specialize. But I feel like I encourage both sexes equally, both males and females, yeah.
Okay.
I can't say I'm doing anything in particular for the young female doctors, but if there are young female doctors watching right now, then please specialize. Don't let your voice be silenced. Don't decide to just be a housewife, It's actually fun being on the wards, and it's actually really amazing when you come across older female patients who are like, oh, I'm so glad I came and I bumped into you in particular. I really needed to talk to a female, so yeah.
Okay. All right. And then work ethic. You say you work a lot, and I remember one time I saw you up to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And you're working on the ward. So what's your motivation or push? What makes you work that much?
I think I just want to make a name for myself, I want to make a name for myself. I want to make a change in the world. Like, I feel like whatever you set your mind to, whatever you decide you want to do in life, should change the next person's life in a positive way, should impact the next person in a positive way. So if you're going to admit a patient and just disappear thereafter, then you haven't helped them much in any way, You want to be able, if you're not gonna cure their disease, if it's something incurable, at least put a smile on their face, At least help them along as they deal with it, as they deal with the pressures of life and the like. So that's why I work this hard, because I want the next person to be able to, to feel that, this person cares. I have a lot of patients who I come across and they're like, oh, thank you, you're the first person to take this much time to explain this to us. I've been hypertensive for the past 10 years and no one's ever explained it this well to me. No, they just order tests and write my prescription and I'm out of the consultation room. So yeah, I think that's why I just really take my time out to do this. Also, I just want to be rich.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm also working hard so that my family will be in a better place in a couple of years.
Okay, I feel you on that. And gifts with patients. We see in movies where patients give gifts to their doctors. What is it like here in Zimbabwe? Both private and public.
Okay. So in the public sector, we're actually not allowed to actually receive a gift from a patient. Apparently, they're supposed to go through the CEO, and then the CEO goes through the clinical director, and then you're then given your gift. Because if you just receive it, there will be a lot of talk, maybe amongst your own colleagues. People think the patient is bribing you or something of that sort. Of course, sometimes you do, if it's a small gift, like they want to give you $5, or they're like, Doc, here's $5, buy yourself a drink. Thank you so much for helping us today. The small things, you'll just be like, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. In the public sector, in the private sector, In the private sector, yeah, you do accept the gift, yeah. And there are a lot of patients who are just very appreciative like that.
And what would you say the biggest gift you got in the private sector, if you want to share?
So, disclaimer, I'm still starting off my medical career. Basically,
Okay.
yeah. So I've worked in the public sector for about 5 years now. I only started doing like shifts and locums in the private sector, maybe 2 years back, the biggest gift I've gotten is $40.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could probably buy supplements for the gym for myself with that. Okay, and you're always smiling. That's not so common. I mean, throughout, let's say I'm on shift with you from morning to afternoon, it's always smiles and so on. How do you do that? Because I don't think I'm going to see a lot of people are always smiling, always happy, especially as a doctor, because
Yeah.
you know the whole thing where it's a lot of pressure and, well, doctors are more prone to drinking and this and that.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So I think I've just sort of mastered the art of not portraying how I feel inside, because we're all prone to have bad days, you know. But I feel like if you're gonna wear your bad day on your face, it's not gonna help you in any way, you know. It's not gonna help the next person. I believe a doctor should always be approachable. So if I'm not smiling, then people are not gonna feel comfortable being around me. If I'm smiling, however, then people are like, oh, that's a friendly face. And I don't know why I'm always smiling. Apparently my son smiles so much because I smile a lot, so
Okay.
I don't know, maybe genetically. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just a happy person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your son. Yeah, you told
Yeah.
me that you were married, right?
Yes.
So how is married life as a doctor?
So contrary to what other female doctors experience, I think it's not as hard. I think the secret to it is marry your best friend, basically.
Okay.
Marry someone who understands what the medical profession is about, someone who understands that you're going to have long working hours. Someone who understands that you're going to get called at 3 a.m. and they shouldn't freak out if it's a male voice on the other end, because it's most likely work, So yeah, it hasn't been that hard. I have a very supportive partner. I almost quit my specialist training last year. I just went through like a period of depression. I almost quit, but he's like, no, you have to keep going. I know how much you want this, so you have to keep going. The long hours, whatever, I'll help you out. If you need me to watch the baby while you study, it's fine. So yeah, marry your best friend. Marry someone who's your partner, quite literally. Yeah.
Where do you find those type of people?
I don't know. Okay. I don't have the secret to that, but yeah.
Okay. And the life-work balance, how do you go about that? Because, well, some are I should balance things out. Some just accept the fact that the medicine, the practicing and so on just takes over someone's life. So what's your take on work-life balance?
So, I feel like it will take over your life if you let it. And what I mean by that is people are going to make you, especially if you're working for someone else, basically. Okay, so if you have your own surgery, you can choose your own working hours, right? But if you're working for someone else, if they can make you work 24/7, they're going to make you work 24/7. So you have to also get to a point where you put your foot down and say, I'm not going to work on such and such a day. For example, in the public sector, we're supposed to work 40 hours a week. That is Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, I think. But of course, we don't work like that. We do knock off a bit earlier than that. And then we have weekends. We're supposed to do a weekend call here and there. So by putting your foot down, I mean, if it's a weekend and you're not on call, then be able to say no if someone asks you to come in. If it's not your day to be on duty, you can say no. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. You feel like, okay, this is my superior or whatever, I can't say no to them. But I feel like people respect you more if you can, draw the line. And you also don't want to work resentfully. So you should be able to say, no, I can't do this. For example, with my locums, I do not work Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
At all. Even if they draw up the shift plan and I have one shift that entire weekend, they're like, oh, would have given you a few more shifts if you take the weekend ones. I'm like, nah, it's cool. My weekends are mine. It's time to bond with family. It's time to explore. I'm a travel junkie, so it's time to see, experience new cultures, see new places. So if you let it consume you, it will consume you.
So what's the latest place you've been to? Is it a travel junkie?
I am a travel junkie.
All right, so I cut off when we were talking about traveling. You said you're a travel junkie.
Oh yeah. So I was saying I last traveled internationally like 2017. Locally, last year I went to Victoria Falls twice. I'm not even done exploring it yet because each time was for about 3 days. And then I was in Matopos in November. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm
Okay.
planning to go to Great Zimbabwe in June before my exams. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so for those who don't know, Victoria Falls, it's a place where, well, there's a fall, so it's more of water rushing down a long, deep valley or gorge.
Yeah, one of the
and-
7 wonders.
Yeah, one of the 7 wonders. And Great Zimbabwe is like one of the first settlements in Southern Africa.
Yeah,
It's like made of brick and mortar.
yeah.
Oh, stone, yeah. Something like that. Okay. All right. And what advice would you give to a future doctor? Even me, for example, because I am not yet working, right? I'm on
Okay.
orientation. So
Yeah. So, yeah, it's hard. It's a very hard journey. It's difficult, but things get better. They definitely get better with time. Don't listen to people who are like, no, don't join the medical profession. There's no money, etc. There's no money at the start, but trust me, as your career progresses, as you know, you make a name for yourself, you make more money, which is why a lot of people join the medical profession, I suppose. And then for us who are passionate about helping people, it's, you know, you sleep well at night. You sleep well at night when you see a smile on your patient's face. You know, they're still sick, but you know, they're smiling. Or when they come in 2 weeks later and they're like, you know what, you're the bomb. I don't know what you did, but I'm better, you know. So yeah, don't give up. Keep going. Work really, really hard. There's a lot of reading involved. But yeah, it's a very fulfilling profession.
all right. Thank you for that. And the last thing, it's a random question.
Okay.
In a perfect world, what car would you want? Your dream car?
My dream car is a Land Cruiser single cab 79 series.
79 as in 1979.
Yeah, like the big ugly one.
Oh, those ones. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, I'm into big cars. So that's like number 1 on my list. That's like, if I die before I buy that car, I'll take all the money in my bank and just buy that car. Like, just buy it, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, the second one is more flashy. The Mercedes-Benz G63, the
Okay.
G-Wagon. I do not like sedans. Right now, I drive a Nissan Marja, and it's purely for convenience.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with, a dream.
All right.
I'm a
and-
big girl. I should get big things.
Okay, I agree. So, with the car, why an old model? Why a Land Cruiser? Why that one?
It's durable. It's an off-roader. And like I said, I like traveling. So I want to I want to go off the beaten tracks, you know?
Okay.
Explore places no one has ever been to.
All right. Yeah. Discover places.
Yeah. And also it's a Toyota. You can never go wrong with Toyota.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Majok.
All right.
So yeah, we are done. Doc Bulozi podcast first episode is over. So this will be on my Spotify, YouTube, on my Facebook, my Instagram. So yeah, keep on being tuned to Doc Bulozi second episode coming. I'll decide whether I should feature someone or it'll just be me talking about a medical topic. So catch you later.